Stellar Blade is one of my most anticipated releases of 2024. It's got swords, biblically accurate angels, and more booty than Ubisoft Skull and Bones. This is every detail about Stellar Blade that's been officially confirmed by the developers so far. In case you haven't heard, this is an upcoming PS5 exclusive releasing on April 26th. The game's director has been living that rockstar lifestyle, going on press tours and talking about the game, so I've compiled all the information that's been officially confirmed by himself and a few other devs. I'm aiming to create the best Stellar Blade content on YouTube, so a thumbs up on the video would really go a long way if you like what I do. And if you're new, consider subscribing for more videos. Do it. Let's get right into the info. The most recent news we got about this game is actually the rating. If you expected anything less than 18+, I don't know what to tell you. Stellar Blade just got hit with the 18+ rating in Korea for excessive violence and nudity, so we can probably expect the same from both PEGI and the ESRB. I guess in ESRB's case, it'll be rated M17+, but yeah, adult eyes only. Since the aesthetics of the main character is a really big part of the appeal of this game, the director, Kim Hyung-tae, talked about the different customization options that are available, and he says there's about 30 different outfits available in the game, and they're all acquirable through gameplay. So you can explore, go on a quest, or go to the in-game shop to purchase them. You can enjoy that collecting element of the game. Also, by going on quests, you get to unlock hairstyles, so you can customize different looks, and there's going to be other accessories like earrings and glasses. But the important part is that these are all acquirable in-game without any additional purchases. Really drilling home that fact that there's no DLC, no battle pass, no microtransactions. Simple. They could easily package some of these cosmetics as paid DLC, and they would probably sell, but we're getting all the cosmetics included with the game. In fact, we've seen a good chunk of these outfits from the trailers, like the yellow leotard and the iconic bunny suit. Counting them up, we haven't even seen half the outfits yet, so collecting them all will be a mission in and of itself. We've also seen a good chunk of the combat from the trailers. It could be compared to games like Devil May Cry or Nier, and Kim was asked what makes Stellar Blade unique compared to other games when it comes to combat, and he starts with, battles occur with an attractive female protagonist who uses a blade. I'm not kidding, that's the first thing he starts with. We put practically everything you can do with a blade into the game. You get to use different combos and skills, but that doesn't mean you can just thoughtlessly use them. Instead, you need to learn the patterns of the monsters and think about how you want to attack. It's a bit of a back and forth between you and the enemies. In addition to melee combat, there's a third-person shooter mode where you get to experience ranged combat, and you also get to use items. So it's blade-centric, but you'll experience all different kinds of action throughout. So, Eve learned blaster stance from Cal Kestis is what I'm getting. I like it. Kim talks a bit about the music too. The music is an important element in the game that really portrays the worldview of Stellar Blade. We have about 100 tracks on the soundtrack, and most songs have a kind of chorus or some kind of human voice in them, some kind of vocalization. Around 60% of the songs were created in-house, while the other 40% were created by a sound studio called Manaka, led by composer Keiichi Okabe. Okabe-san was the composer of Nier. So add that to the list of similarities this game has to the Nier franchise. That's actually really cool. We also learned that the game will be available in 22 different languages with 9 voiceover dubbings. One piece of unfortunate news is that the Japanese voice acting will be limited to just the Japanese release of the game. A bit of a bummer for those like me who enjoy Japanese. When I watch animes, I always prefer the sub over the dub, but at least here in the States we can still get the original Korean voices. Kim also confirmed that yes, the character Eve is indeed based on Korean model Shin Jae-Eun. The team was really looking for that ideal body shape, which was why they decided to go with her. Jae-Eun's body was directly scanned into the game, while the face for Eve was created in-house. But I guess there were some who didn't think the model actually existed, but there you go, she is in fact a real human being. Shout out to her for her contributions. The development studio Shift Up also has a mobile gacha game called Goddess of Victory Nikke, and Kim was asked whether there was room for a potential tie-in with that game, to which he said, yes, of course, if that's what the users want, then we can do anything that will please them. He also mentioned we'll work hard to come up with more attractive, diverse gaming content, really drilling home that idea that the pretty women are here to stay.
And for that, we thank you.
There have also been some questions about whether this game will be open world or not. In a recent PlayStation blog post, Kim revealed that the game will be semi-open. The main city, Zion, sounds like it'll be sort of our base of operations, and it's going to be connected to two semi-open world environments, the Great Desert and the Wasteland. He says there's going to be plenty to explore in these places, and the way it's being described is that they all connect to one another, which kind of explains the semi-open nature. Kim also estimates that the game will take players roughly 25 hours to complete the main story, although he also said completionists can almost double that time, anywhere between 30 and 50 hours for a 100% run, so there is plenty of game in there. Most people have heard it at this point, but it's still worth covering again, where the devs talk about the extra attention and detail that went into Eve's back, since that's what the player is going to be looking at most of the time. It's here that Kim talks about some cultural shifts and differences that are happening in gaming, and how the design for Eve, quote, has become somewhat of a brave thing to be going for or attempting. In this day and age, he's not exactly wrong, and the minor but vocal backlash to Eve's design definitely proved that. He goes on to say, "I personally think that compared to movies, animation, manga, and so on, people are especially strict towards games. In games, there's all the views that people have, which are not always positive about unrealistically beautiful characters. And this is the part that most people have heard. Honestly, when I play a game, I would like to see someone who is better looking than myself. That's what I want. I don't want to see something normal, I want to see something more ideal. I think that's very important in a form of entertainment. This is, after all, entertainment targeted for adults." And I guess that would have been a good segue to talk about the 18+ rating, but we've already covered that. Lastly, he talks a little bit about Eve as a character. She's been pretty mysterious up to this point. We know that she's a powerful soldier, but we don't know much else about her personality or anything like that. Kim says the character Eve at the beginning is not that great of an existence. I should have mentioned this at the beginning, but everything that the game director is saying was verified through a translator, so the English isn't always perfect. But as the game progresses, she takes on more and more burdens and comes to make important decisions. She gets to interact with more characters and other people and becomes more human. In the beginning, she's more soldier-like and doesn't have that many emotions or show much expression. As the game and story progresses, though, you get to see the change in her emotions. I'm guessing this has something to do with her new companions that she meets, Lily and the Giga Chad Adam. And on the topic of Adam and Eve, I have to bring up how awesome the use of religious symbolism and biblical themes are. It's interesting to me that the controversy around this game has more to do with Eve's design than it does the overtly religious ideas that are being used. No shame, I'm a nerd. So it makes me think of censorship in other franchises, like Yu-Gi-Oh, for example. A lot of card artwork will have religious symbolism that then gets censored or changed for the localized versions of the cards. Usually anything that has a cross or anything else that can relate to Christianity specifically. And there is a lot of that here in Stellar Blade. Adam and Eve, bosses having the names of biblical demons, the city of Zion being named after Zion in the Bible. The developers haven't really talked about the religious aspects that much, and I'm hoping they do soon so that they can confirm some things for me. My next video will be about the theology of Stellar Blade, and I'm really looking forward to sharing that video with you guys. As far as information the developers have shared, this is a lot of the major stuff that I thought was worth going over. If we get any more information about the game before the release, I'll be sure to cover it in a new video. But if you guys found today's video helpful or useful or insightful in any way, be sure to give it a thumbs up. Give it a thumbs down if you didn't enjoy it, but either way, consider subscribing to the channel for more Stellar Blade content. I can't wait for this one. This one is definitely making 2024 a little bit better than it was in the beginning. That's gonna do it from me. This has been Star. Enjoy the rest of your day, and I will see you next time. Peace.